Hello, the following is the assessment plan proposal presented to MTN Consulting. Presenter Diana Keay. MTN Consulting presents the WinCorp Attitude Survey of Employee Satisfaction and Organizational Commitment. Attention, Human Resources Director and Executive Board. Proposal background. MTN Consulting was tasked with creating a plan to assess employees' attitudes at WinCorp. The request was made due to previous unsuccessful efforts to determine why employee productivity is decreasing and why dropouts are increasing at the company in recent months. Upon review of the survey instrument created by the Human Resources Department at WinCorp, MTN Consulting noticed several biasing errors. The following survey plan is presented as a viable alternative for WinCorp to effectively assess employee attitudes and thus prepare appropriate strategies to increase employee productivity and retention. The goals of the assessment plan proposal are to provide evidence of the value of measuring employee attitudes at WinCorp, to identify best practices in employee attitude survey design relevant to WinCorp, and to present a comprehensive survey design and implementation proposal based on WinCorp's unique needs. Proposal outline. In this proposal, we will cover the following items. Why should WinCorp measure employee attitudes? Which attitudes should WinCorp measure? Measuring job satisfaction and organizational commitment at WinCorp. WinCorp Attitude Survey. What will be included in the survey? Who is taking the survey? When will they take it? Where will they take it? How will they complete the survey? How will the survey be announced to employees? And next steps after survey rollout. Why should WinCorp measure job attitudes? An understanding of employees' attitudes is important because it helps organizations to know employees' intentions and behaviors regarding the company. WinCorp is seeing a decrease in employee productivity and an increase in attrition. This situation is not cost-effective as the company is losing revenue and it is spending more on hiring and training new people. Therefore, we need to know why this is happening. Understanding employees' attitudes, like job satisfaction and organizational commitment of employees, can predict as much as 36% of behaviors in individual effectiveness, such as performance, lateness, absenteeism, and turnover. This data is provided or obtained from an article by Harrison et al. From 2006. These behaviors are relevant to an organization because managers can foresee when an employee is considering leaving the job and implement contingency strategies. Therefore, if we can prevent this from happening by understanding employee attitudes, WinCorp will retain valued skill force and will save money in the long run. Which job attitudes should WinCorp measure? Specific job attitudes. Attitudes are evaluative statements, either favorable or unfavorable, about objects, people, or events. They reflect how we feel about something, by Robbins and Judge, 2013. There are many types of employee attitudes, such as engagement, involvement, perceived support. and measuring a large number of them can be time-consuming and costly. MTN Consulting recommends focusing on two specific employee attitudes, vastly researched in the field of organizational behavior for their effectiveness on predicting employee behaviors. These attitudes are job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Robbins and Judge, 2013. So, what is job satisfaction? Job satisfaction. It is a positive feeling about the job based on the evaluation of its characteristics. Robbins and Judge, 2013. If we measure employee satisfaction, then we can better predict employees' effectiveness, as well as their intentions to stay with the company. Although satisfaction is a relative attitude to measure, motivation and performance encompass many other personal and social attributes. Therefore, job satisfaction is complex to understand. Understanding job satisfaction will allow WinCorp to identify whether employees engage in organizational citizen behaviors, such as going above and beyond their specific duties. Job satisfaction also provides insights on counterproductive work behaviors, such as gossiping, theft, bribery, or sabotage. What is organizational commitment? Organizational commitment is the degree to which an employee identifies with a particular organization and its goals and wishes to maintain membership in the organization. By Robbins and Judge, 2013. Organizational commitment is the sense of attachment and loyalty towards an organization. If employees are not committed to WinCorp, they will show lower levels of attendance at work and won't give their best at what they're doing for the company. Organizational commitment is correlated with job satisfaction. The three components to organizational commitment are affective, continuous, and normative. Similar to job satisfaction, obtaining data about organizational commitment will allow WinCorp to understand the dynamics involved in organizational citizen behaviors, counterproductive behaviors, and withdrawal behaviors. Robbins and Judge, 2013. Measuring job satisfaction and organizational commitment at WinCorp. To address the current obstacles faced with the in-house instrument at WinCorp, and particularly those pertaining to bias errors, MTN Consulting recommends utilizing external instruments designed and tested by researchers in organizational psychology, and that have been implemented by other companies in different industries with successful results. Some highlights in the utilization of attitude instruments created and published by organizational psychologists include: instruments follow best practices in survey design, such as being based on defined constructs or definitions of the attitude, justification of each question, and how it is included, and the order in which questions should be asked. Limited number of items or questions to avoid survey fatigue. Having been tested with valid samples and avoiding measuring errors, complex writing, or double-barrel questions. Published instruments have been studied by professionals in the field and have empirical support to demonstrate validity, which is the accuracy in results, and reliability, which means trustworthiness of the results obtained. In addition, these surveys which we will see in the next slide, have no associated costs for their implementation. They can be obtained publicly from research portals. To measure job satisfaction, MCM Consulting recommends that WinCorp utilizes the Michigan Organizational Assessment Questionnaire, MOAQ, designed by Kahneman et al. In 1979 at the University of Michigan. This is a 3-item scale, which has been widely utilized for more than 3 decades for its internal consistency reliability, which means items in the scale measure the same construct. This is obtained from Bolin and Hammond 2018. To measure organizational commitment, MCM Consulting recommends utilizing the 3-component model of organizational commitment, designed by Allen and Mayer in 1990. This instrument includes 18 items, surveying affective commitment, normative commitment, and continuance as perceived high sacrifice and perceived lack of alternatives. Data obtained from Allen and Mayer, 1990. Now that the foundational elements of the assessment plan proposal have been presented, MCM Consultant will present the survey rollout strategy. The WinCorp Attitude Survey. What will be included in the WinCorp Attitude Survey? It is recommended to create and deploy the Attitude Survey from the data management software Qualtrics because of its simple, clear, and easy to understand design. Launching the Attitude Survey from Qualtrics will also allow employees to complete the survey from different devices, such as laptops, tablets, or smartphones. The Attitude Survey will be divided into 4 sections. The first section will be an introductory statement from WinCorp explaining confidentiality, a disclaimer about completing the survey in a voluntary way, and legal terms for employees before completing the survey. The second section will ask demographic questions, not to include names, emails, or other personal information. The third section will include the job satisfaction questions, and the fourth section will include the organizational commitment questions. The first part would be the disclaimer. The second part would be the demographic questions, which includes items such as company role in a drop-down menu with options such as specialist, administrative, supervisory, seniority in the company, department, and education level. Part 3 would be questions pertaining to job satisfaction. This section will include the 3 items in the Michigan Organizational Assessment Questionnaire. This portion will be based on a 5-point Likert scale, where employees will indicate their level of agreement with each statement. From 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. The 3 questions included are: all in all, I am satisfied with my job. In general, I don't like my job. In general, I like working here. Part 4 of the survey outline will include the organizational commitment questions. This section will include the 18 items in the 3-component model of organizational commitment. It also contains a 5-point Likert scale, where employees will indicate their level of agreement with each statement. From 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. There are 6 questions on effective commitment, such as, I really feel that I belong in this organization, or I really feel as if this organization's problems are my own. Then there will be 6 additional questions on normative commitment. Questions such as, it would not be morally right for me to leave this organization now, or I would not leave my organization right now because I have a sense of obligation to certain people who work here. There will also be 2 questions on continuance or perceived high sacrifice. These questions are, I would not leave this organization because of what I would stand to lose. Or, for me personally, the costs of leaving this organization would be far greater than my benefits. Last, a section on perceived lack of alternatives. 3 questions. For example, I feel that I have too few options to consider leaving this organization. Who is taking the WinCorp Attitude Survey? MCM Consulting advises that all current employees at WinCorp should participate in the survey initiative. This is with the intention to gather data from a robust representative sample of the entire company. Of course, identifiable information won't be requested. However, questions about roles, seniority, and department within the company will be included. And this is because it will facilitate to identify trends based on different attributes. When will they take the WinCorp Attitude Survey? There are 3 main considerations regarding the timing to deploy the survey. Deployment of survey for employees to take. To avoid survey fatigue, due to employees having already taken a similar survey in a given quarter, MCM Consulting recommends launching the new version at the next quarter. Similarly, the survey will be available for employees to complete within 2 consecutive weeks, in agreement with HR and top executives. The 2-week period within the quarter should take place during historically slow periods in the company, so productivity is not compromised. Data analysis and presentations of results to HR and top management. It is key to consider the time when the survey results and reports will be available for managers to review. As the expectation is to make company changes based on the findings, survey reports should be ready before budget planning meetings are scheduled. This is to ensure that any resources required to implement the survey initiative are accounted for ahead of time. Third, sustainability of reports. It is also recommended to deploy the attitude survey periodically at the 2 to 3 quarter intervals per year. This is relevant to measure longitudinal changes in employee patterns of behavior and to identify possible factors affecting the levels of satisfaction and commitment in employees across time. Where will the employees take the survey? Employees will take the survey during a workday and within the given 2-week period established by the HR department in accordance with department managers. Via internet by going to the Survey Initiative website. Employees should also utilize their work computers in their workspaces to complete the survey. If the employee is remote or doesn't have a company laptop, HR will provide a temporary physical space equipped with laptops to access and complete the survey. How will they complete the survey? MTM Consulting recommends the launching of a web page to house the Attitude Survey initiative. In this site, employees will find comprehensive details about the initiative. They will also find a link to complete the survey. The link will redirect participants to the attitude survey prepared by MTN Consulting. Prior to start the questions, employees will have access to instructions on how to complete the survey, the number of questions, and the maximum time to complete the survey, 30 minutes. Only one survey per employee will be allowed. In groups, teams won't be able to submit a survey on behalf of other individuals. How will the survey be announced to employees? MTM advises to first send an email from WinCorp's HR manager and CEO, communicating to all employees that a second survey will be disseminated. In addition, a web page should be created to house the link for the survey, instructions on how to complete it, a description of the initiative, and a Q&A section. Last, HR and top leadership should host an informational session to further explain the survey initiative and to provide a space for employees to voice questions or concerns regarding the survey. Key information to communicate in the various outlets include confidentiality. Employees won't be asked to provide identifiable information. Transparency. Explain goals, implementation strategy, next steps, and when results from survey initiative will be provided to employees and other stakeholders. Because of previous surveys with a similar purpose was recently disseminated, WinCorp will place emphasis on explaining why a second survey is needed and how changes based on survey results will positively impact each employee. Opportunity. Explain that the survey provides a safe space for employees to indicate their levels of satisfaction with their jobs and how committed they are to the organization. Time to complete the survey. Employees will be allowed to take 30 minutes during their workday to complete the survey. The survey campaign will last 2 consecutive weeks. Employees will coordinate with supervisors when to complete it and whether turns need to be assigned in order not to disrupt ongoing working schedules. Incentives. Communicate any possible rewards or perks, such as raffles, gift cards, company swag, any given rewards for completing the survey. Next steps. Next steps after survey rollout. Tabulation. After MTN Consultant has collected all the data from surveys in Qualtrics, our data analysis team will tabulate and analyze the responses utilizing IBM SPSS software for statistical analysis. Debrief. MTN will provide main statistics and patterns of behavior to the HR team and top leadership of WinCorp. We will advise on implementation strategies to increase job satisfaction and organizational commitment based on the information collected. Departments and employees at WinCorp should be debriefed as well, in a town hall, via email, or in the company newsletter. This is an important step, so all survey participants know that their participation mattered and that there is transparency from upper management regarding company strategies. Making meaningful changes at WinCorp. Knowing that satisfied and committed employees will engage less in withdrawal behaviors and leaving the organization, HR and lead managers should want to implement changes to generate positive attitudes, focusing on intrinsic parts of the job and making it more challenging and interesting. We appreciate your time and consideration for this proposal. Please feel free to explain your questions or to let us know if you have any additional requests. Thank you so much for being part of this presentation.